What are you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy BucketHatSam, and we are back again today for episode 11 of the BucketHatSam Talks Ball Podcast. Today we've got on the usual. He's here now every week. We can't get rid of him. Good old Michael, the Arsenal fan. But today I want to quickly, before we ask Mike anything, I want to introduce, get it over and done with, the guy in the corner wearing that mucky shirt. It is Si.
Hello.
Welcome, Si, to the channel, guys. Be nice. He is a Wolves fan. We've let him in. Finally. How are you today, Si?
I'm very good, thanks. I thought I'd balance things up, with a rubbish Albion fan in the Championship, and Arsenal, not great.
I was going to say, you can't take the mick out of Arsenal, let's be honest.
Not great. I want to take mick out of Arsenal, but they've been pretty good recently.
Yeah, that really hurts, doesn't it? But
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get onto that in a little bit. Mike, how are you doing as well?
Good, yeah. Feels strange having someone next to me, but
I was going to ask how you were, but I thought I'd just try and put you off a little bit, just so you keep up to standard. Now you know there's competition. But let's get straight into it. Let's just start discussing Manchester United. I think that's got to be the first thing. Let's be honest. And what a woeful performance, spineless and embarrassing performance. I think that's really all the words you can use. But I don't even know where to start. Obviously, Man City were very good, but more so than anything, Man United were just awful. What went wrong? Where do you start at? Like, what one thing could you pinpoint? Where do we start?
I think you've got to start with the players, and they're just not good enough. They've got to take some responsibility, these players, because the different managers that have been in, all of them, they've had bad performances, they've had bad games, they've had bad runs. When are these players going to start taking responsibility? Because it's the same crop, but they're just not good enough. You look at some of the performances, and especially in the second half, everyone saw it in the game, and the people analysing were saying they'd just given up. They'd given up, and they weren't even trying to close City down. See, we were playing like training ground football. They were taking the mick.
They were just taking the mick.
Exhibition match for them, wasn't it?
It was awful.
Too easy for them.
Yeah, and you wouldn't look at that defence and think £150 million, or I think it was more than that actually. When you break it down, it's absolutely pathetic, really. It was embarrassing. And do you know what? What surprised me though, at half time, I thought Man United actually played quite well in that first half. I don't know if it was just me. On the counter, you're already frowning, so I know you don't agree with that.
Gary Neville was giving it the big one, saying they'd played really well, and I didn't really see it myself. That they defended okay, but I don't think that they offered much. They had a couple of breaks out, and that's where the goal came from.
I think the goal they had taken really well as well. Sancho's getting better each game, I'd say.
Well, he can't get worse, can he?
Well, he could get worse, but he's scored a few goals recently, got a few assists, so he seems to be improving. So I wouldn't say he's worth that 70 mil price tag so far, but he's improving.
I think that's the problem I've got with Sancho. Obviously, people didn't like my opinions on him last week.
I put it out. I put the video out on TikTok literally an hour before kickoff, so it hit the algorithm as Sancho scored. And oh my word, the hate this man was getting was brilliant.
People were saying he can't just be judged on his goals and assists. But if you're a £70 million winger that's playing for Man U, you're expected to perform instantly. You're expected to contribute goals, assists. I don't get. He started playing a bit better recently. Well, how have United's results been in that time?
Let's not forget as well, when United signed him, all United fans mentioned, he scored this many goals past few years, he's got this many assists. Only a player to have over 50 or 20 goals and assists, both for them, in the last few years in the whole top 5 Europe leagues. It's like, well, you're judging him then on it, so why are you judging him now on it?
Yeah, it goes out the window, doesn't it?
I'm conscious of myself a little bit there, granted.
No, I know what you're trying to say. I completely agree with it. Sancho, I think he's the only thing that's even a slight bit of excitement at the club right now, because it is dark, it's dismal, and I can't pinpoint one thing though. I think Harry Maguire, how on earth that guy... I'm going to say it now, this is a bold one. And
He's awful.
Yeah, I agree. I would take, now I know this is a bold one, I've been thinking about this all day, Dan Burn over Harry Maguire every day of the week. And I stand by that.
Yeah, I think I'm with
and
you.
I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for it.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Harry Maguire, he's just a walking mistake every week.
Yeah.
It's the same things.
I did see something the other day, and it was a question of, is Maguire, for £80 million, the worst piece of football business in the Premier League?
I think
and
it's in with a shout, yeah.
It's hard to look at it and go,
I think there's one player could compete. He's the bloke next to him, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think that might be even worse. 50 million on him. I don't think he can play football. He
No,
looks
but at
so
least he's got a bit
clueless.
of promise. Like, he's still younger.
Yeah, but he can't pass a ball 5 yards.
Well,
Every
or Pepe for 7.2 mil.
oh,
Just going to throw that straight in, by the way.
that is up there as well. I would agree with you on that. That's easily top 3.
I think back on Maguire, though.
Bring it back.
I was listening to a podcast today, and they were saying, see, you don't realise now, he's 29 years old. He's 29 years old. They signed him for 75 million. All he's done, he played a few games in the Premier League for Hull, and then he was all right at Leicester, and then he's earned this big move to Man U, and he's expected to like solidify the defence and just basically all off the back of a good few performances for England.
And that was in the back 3, don't forget.
Exactly,
That's the
that
back
was
3.
Back 3 tax. We always go back to that. I love it.
So
I love it.
Like, what did they expect? Like, he's an average Premier League defender. He can head it. He can clear the ball. But when you're Man United, again, we'll come back to Man United. If you sign for Man United, you need to be at the top. That's what's expected of that club. They've fallen now, so they're not at that level. But that's what should be expected.
And I feel as well, because of his price tag, that's why he's got the captaincy. Because he's centre half, that price tag, they have to justify why they've signed him.
Yeah.
He's never a captain.
No.
I've never seen him being a leader.
No.
He's not a strong person in a spine of a team at all. He's not going to tell Ronaldo where to go, is he?
Well, that's another thing that's supposedly going on, isn't there? That's why Ronaldo is supposedly sulking at the moment, because he's not happy with the way it's being run. But I do think as well, I don't think he suits the system. I think what you find with Harry Maguire, I don't think you can play him with a high line. He likes to drive from deep and to go on those
I agree. Yeah.
those deep runs when he used to go crazy. And I have to admit, I used to love egging him on when he was playing for England. When he got on those 40-yard runs and he just didn't look right, but it worked. But then now he's playing as a high line. You saw it quite often. They were trying to play compact, and there's so much space in behind him. You can't leave that much space in because he's so slow. That is the only problem.
He runs in treacle.
All the time, yes, easily.
Those two teams he was at before, Leicester and Hull, and England to an extent, he was always deep. Like, you know, the emphasis isn't on you as a team, is it? You can sit there in a bit of a block and you just defend. That's where, like, you can head it well. You get men behind the ball, and it all becomes a lot easier. Whereas at United, a lot of the time you will be countered because you're dominating the ball. So then you're in a one-on-one scenario, and he just gets done all the time.
I think that point you made though about the heading is because in the other jobs, his job was literally to clear the ball and head the ball. No disrespect to Hull and Leicester, but they weren't trying to play some nice football. Where you see now Harry Maguire's job is he's trying to break the lines with passing.
Sorry,
go for it.
The best thing for him at Leicester as well, he had Johnny Evans next to him. So he knew Johnny Evans is a fantastic defender.
Baggy's legend.
He's a brilliant defender, he really is. But he was sweeping perfect. But he was let Maguire be the ball. Maguire was the ball, heading, attacking the ball, and you know he'll always win a header in the air. I've got no doubt of that. But he's not going to be on sweeping up, collecting the ball from dropping off, and playing out from there. He's not that player. He's not good enough at that. He hasn't got the pace for it.
Yeah, and I said when Harry Maguire went, I remember saying to my mates, because I was getting a lot of howlers, this is before I was on the internet, so I didn't put anything out about this, but I think Johnny Evans would have been more suited to it. I think Johnny Evans he's a class centre-back. He plays with both feet. One of the most underrated centre-backs in the Prem, easily. He has a lot of injury problems now, and he's starting to age, but for about 5 or 6 years, he was so consistent when he moved. When we got relegated and he went to Leicester, obviously they got him at such a ridiculous fee because of the clauses, but he's been class for them. He was everything. That might be why they're falling off this season. Maybe you could look at him and the likes of other players, because I still don't rate Soyuncu. I don't know how we've got onto that. Sorry, but I'm just saying that, just putting that out there. I still don't think he's good enough. But
he's better with Johnny Evans next to him.
Yeah,
because he's a ball and he's someone sweeping behind him.
Exactly, it goes back to the point. Yeah, I don't think it helps, but then there's so much else you could talk about with this Man United performance. We could move on to the midfield and everything like that.
The midfield, first of all, isn't good enough. Like, how many times have we said Fred and McTominay? They're not at that level. No.
McTominay can't even play centre midfield for his country in Scotland. How on earth he can play in centre midfield?
They might have had some good games for United, and Fred's been a little bit better. But again, we circle back. You Man U, like, have something about you. You can't be playing people like that. And then I didn't really understand the system that Rangnick went out with, because the first half an hour it looked like it was Pogba and Bruno up front,
two like false nines or two number 10s. I couldn't work out, but it worked. They went in at 2-1, wasn't it, at half time?
Pogba threaded that ball through.
Was it 2-1 or 2-1 at half time? I think it was
2-1.
Was it 2-1 at half time? But they weren't doing too badly at that point. I think we can just skirt over that. We'll pretend we know. We definitely watched the game, but I thought the way they played, I thought it worked because they kept putting players around Rodri, and I think there'd be question marks with him over that game. A couple of times I thought he was surrounded. He got Pogba and Fernandes and he didn't know where to go. And because he's not mobile like Fernandinho was, he wasn't able to cover the spaces.
I agree. But then, like, when Neville was praising them and all that, yes, they might have stopped Rodri. But at no point in that first half did I think, this game's getting away from City. I thought, they were giving up a couple of chances, but I thought City still looked in total control.
I don't think Rodri's the linchpin of Man City either. Like it's like Jorginho for Chelsea, who is the linchpin. If you stop Jorginho, I wouldn't say you can stop Chelsea, but you limit them.
Yeah,
correct. Whereas Rodri is there to do the defensive job, take the yellow card once a game to stop a counter attack, and he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a good player, but he's not the creative one. He's not going to push them forwards. There's other players, give it to Grealish, give it to De Bruyne, give it to Bernardo Silva.
Grealish was really good.
Yeah,
We've got to give a shout out to Grealish. That's the first game I've watched him in a City shirt, and I thought he looks the business.
And he actually found it, and we kept saying it, give him time. And I know
also little United fans. That's how you contribute without goals and assists. Watch Jack Grealish.
You could tell though these comments haven't bothered him at all. They haven't got to him at all.
I love winding people up.
No, I do think though we went back to that point of give him time because Pep has done this with multiple players. Sterling when he first joined there was question marks. Yeah. Ferran Torres, a lot of players, Sane and all of these wingers in the past that with Mahrez question marks when they first joined. But it's because he wants them playing in a certain style. Obviously, you don't want Grealish doing what he was doing at the Villa where he was holding onto the ball for long. He moved it, and for that first goal, he moved the ball faster than he usually would.
Which he doesn't. I've not seen him do that really this season.
No, never.
And I thought he was a flop of a sign. I really did. Being 100 mil, I think he's done enough. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists before that. I was like, he's not done enough for me. Whereas Sonny, he's played past couple of games. He's gone. Now he's getting something. He's getting somewhere with the system, which is going to help Pep. And he's no longer the big fish in a small pond. He's now a fish in a big pond with a lot of other fishes that are as good as him, if not slightly better.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to throw a question. This wasn't planned. You know these questions come out of the blue. So, off the top of your head now, and actually both, if obviously Villa got rid of Grealish and got in Coutinho, at this moment, present in time, both of them had a great week this week. Who would you prefer to have in your side, personally?
Definitely Grealish.
Would you have?
I'm tempted for Coutinho. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I really do.
But have a discussion, boys. Go for it. This is your moment now. I completely agree. I would personally have Coutinho. And there's something about Coutinho.
Are you talking for one game this week, or are you talking at your club?
At your club for the rest of the season. Both of you, because both of you right now pushing for whatever you want.
Coutinho can do it for a big team for a whole season. He's done it at Liverpool. They've unbelievable well at Liverpool. He's scored fantastic goals, but sets a lot of play. I know Grealish can bring the ball up and that, but his numbers aren't quite there. And I don't think he suits the big team very much. I know last week he seemed to suit it, but I don't think he suits the big team other than this game. I really don't.
Yeah,
he likes to be the man, and even at England in the Euros, he wanted to be the man, and he wasn't. Sterling was the man really for us because he scored all the goals, and Grealish didn't like that. I thought.
No, okay.
Why I said Grealish is because if I'm looking at it as like who I'd want at my club, Grealish is 25.
Yeah, I didn't mean it. I just meant just for now, just kind of in the moment. Because I think
it's for one
for the rest of the season. Are you gonna track back? That's not like you.
No, I might as well stick with it now.
Yeah, there you go. Get him right in his head. No, but no, I thought Coutinho though. By the way, this weekend, the highlights of that. How on earth
should have scored a hat trick?
Oh, he should easily. He easily should have. But that was kind of the most unexpected result. No one expected that. Southampton have been going on form. They were beating every side. Then they just got absolutely battered.
I think they were second or third in the form table before the game. And I was like, that's going to be a tough game for Villa. And Villa haven't been in very good form either.
They've always had this problem under Hasenhüttl, though, haven't they? They're very up and down, inconsistent with results, even though they've had that good run.
Yeah.
To then go in, and another thing, they ship goals occasionally. What was it like? City put 8 past
and then United,
4
didn't they?
Villa.
9 to United that one time as well.
And he's done a brilliant job this season to go on that run and get them where they are. Well, it is just inconsistent.
I'm still shocked he's got a job, in truth.
I thought after that battering, I think it was City.
After the second 9-0, but also the batterings, he's 4 or 5 goals in several games. And I look at their defence. I wouldn't have many of their defenders in many other Premier League sides.
But do you not think that's quite refreshing though, that a club rather than doesn't just sack a manager straight away? I quite like it and respect it that they back a manager. They say, do you know what? We trust the process. I always go back to the process, and they give him time, and it works. And you see, other clubs may look at the managers they've sacked, aka Watford, and then when they sack managers every single week, it's quite a refreshing way to see managers actually getting backed and then something good coming from it. But I know obviously hindsight's a brilliant thing. Whether it will always work out, who knows?
They quite like the continuation, they don't at Southampton. You look at even the academy players coming through, they like to bring the academy players as much as they can into the first team. I mean, Ward-Prowse is the prime example. It's unbelievable for them as well as club captain, isn't he? So they like to have that longer term, I think, man. I've seen Pochettino do really well, move on. Ronald Koeman was the same. They've had other flops in Claude Puel, who was, not very good for him at all, but still there for a couple of seasons before.
Yeah, and I think they're never, like, the management of the club, they never rush a decision, do they? They'll always think of the bigger implications. They'll never just get someone in for survival, for instance, or something. They'll think long term with manager appointments, transfers, selling on, all of that stuff.
Yeah. I know this is now, I'm going to quickly jump back. This wasn't a very good segue, but we're going to quickly just jump back to Man United now. Obviously, we spoke about Maguire earlier. I know obviously they're trying to protect the asset. You can't spend 80 million on a player and drop him. But if you were in charge, would you drop Harry Maguire and play somebody like Lindelof and Varane? Because I don't think any of the centre-back partnerships are strong. But what would you do at United that could potentially fix it up?
If I'm the manager of Man United, I haven't signed him, so I don't care for how much you signed him for. He wasn't my player, so I can decide who I want, who's best of the club. Varane's the main starter. He's a serial winner. It's finding the right partner for him. Is it going to be Eric Bailly? Is it going to be Lindelof? It's obviously not Maguire.
None of them fill you with confidence, though, do they? Like, even Lindelof, he looked out of place against Chelsea.
Weak.
And he's had good games, but is he really that good? I don't look at any of them other than Varane, who hasn't done it for United yet, and think they're a top-level centre-half to be getting top 4 in the Premier League.
Bring back Phil Jones.
Honestly, Phil Jones was the only one that's filled me with confidence. I think Varane is...
Was he in the Champions League? He came back.
It was
against Wolves?
Wolves, yes.
Granted, his header out gave us the ball to Matinho.
But I think that was harsh to blame it on him. I don't think he could have done much.
Yeah.
I think, though, I don't think there's anyone really I'd want to play at centre-back. I think Varane is criminally overrated. I think we've seen it this season. He's really struggled to come to terms with the Premier League and the fast pace of it. He's come to a side in United, yes, and he's left very vulnerable. It doesn't help when you've got Fred and McTominay in front of you trying to protect you. But we've seen this season quite a lot of games. I think it was against Newcastle specifically where he gave the ball away a few times and they lost. I think overall, there's not one person. I think this is the problem that we go back to the rebuild and everything that's going on at United. I don't understand how they're going to fix this problem without throwing constantly more cash at this problem. I don't know.
And the most damning thing for them, again, this is not just one-off. This is season after season. The goalkeeper's the best player for them. He seems to be, okay, Bruno for a couple, for a season or two, but I think that last 7 years, De Gea's had player of the year 4 times or something ridiculous like that. And that's really damning to the whole United defence, the whole midfield. It doesn't look good for Man United, in my opinion.
I almost think now, looking at let's look at post-Fergie era, there's almost a bit of denial around United, where the recruitment is as if they're in a win-now mode. Whereas they haven't really won anything without Fergie. What have they got? A Europa
League under Mourinho and a League Cup. Or was it League?
One
of the two. Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
But all their signings are win now signings.
Yeah.
Right, and you look at the squad now. It's Pogba's getting on. Still, he's not signing another contract. Rashford's unhappy. He's getting a bit older.
That's come out today, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
I was going to say we'd have to discuss that in a minute.
Bringing in players like Cavani, Ronaldo, Varane, all world-class players at their peak, but look at the age and I know they've signed Wan-Bissaka to try and Sancho try and be youthful, but there's never a structured rebuild. It's always just trying to paint over the cracks.
Yeah,
and also the world-class players they're signing. You can even go back to Di Maria as well as Ronaldo, Cavani.
Yeah, they've had a lot.
They all get worse at Man United. Every single one of them, and Di Maria hated at Man United. Could not stand. I know he got his house burgled and all that. Wasn't happy because of it. But he wasn't good at United. And he should have been, because he's a phenomenal player.
And he's gone and flourished at PSG
Exactly.
again since.
I think a lot of it's down to the systems, though. They don't utilise the players they've got. It's like they look at a player and go, right, we need a right winger. Who's the best right winger on the planet? Just whack him in and they're going to do well. They don't build around anything.
Yeah.
It's so you go back to it's a short-term outlook all the time. There's no plan.
Yeah.
It's just so. The one time when we thought they were building something under Ollie, when they were, I know that feels weird saying that, but they were getting young English players and young talent in, and then they go and sign Ronaldo. I know they had to, but and then they signed Cavani that one time. It just seems so backwards. It doesn't make sense. The path they were trying to follow down this route, they just kept veering off.
I'm still certain they signed Ronaldo because Man City were linked to him. And they went, oh, he's available. He can't go to Man City. I think it was a panic buy. I really
it's
do.
That, and then the corporate side, they know what merchandise is going to bring in and ticket sales.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The advertising, all of that.
And now he's unhappy. And there's links with him potentially leaving in the summer.
I can believe it. I can absolutely believe it.
I saw that we briefly mentioned it then. Rashford being linked and saying he's unhappy and he wants to know his role and he wants first team football. But one thing straight away, he's not being good enough this season.
I was going to say, I was about to call out Rashford. I mean, you can be unhappy and question your role, but when you're on the pitch, you've got to show a desire to one, improve your performances, and two, contribute to the team. And he just looks completely disinterested when he's on the pitch. His body language is atrocious.
And he's not been good for, I say, 2 seasons at least now. I've not been, when he burst on the scene, he was phenomenal, really good player, looks really exciting, played for England, scored a goal against Spain, I remember the 3-0 win in the Euros, I think it was Nations League qualified, but he looks really good that stage. He's just regressed. He's absolutely regressed. With a change of managers, I'm still not really sure. Is he a left winger, a left midfielder or a striker? I don't really know yet. I'm not convinced of what his position is still.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the one thing it always goes back to is when you're a young striker coming on, you do kind of always get forced out to the wing. But then he was forced out to the wing, and then Martial kind of came in and took his spot as a striker. And I don't understand why they haven't pushed him back up top, because he was a striker. Louis van Gaal brought him into the squad because he was a young striker, scoring goals. That's what he's best at. I don't like him when he's on that wing. Quite often, he just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. And especially in that game against Man City, we were talking about being disinterested. When he came on, it was like he was sulking that he'd been subbed off. Yeah. He did not look happy at all when he came on. He did absolutely nothing. Him and Lingard both came on at the same time. Lingard's another one who's going at the end of this in the summer.
You can tell, can't you, that
they're not happy.
No.
You can look at United's squad now. You can probably name the players who are leaving. Cavani's leaving. Like Rashford looks like he's going to leave. Lingard, I reckon Ronaldo's going to leave. You can probably some more. I'm sure Phil Jones is going to leave finally.
Yeah, but the thing is, it feels really weird because at the start of the season, quite a lot of people were quite positive about United and quite positive about everything that was going on. People were saying they could have won the league, and the thing is, obviously they've got Ronaldo in a serial winner. It's still not working, and I think there's got to be a big rebuild, and I think the fans need to understand. And I don't mean to sound like we're just slagging off United now for the next half an hour, but they need to bring back their expectations and understand. They need to take 3 steps back before they can make 5 forward.
The reason we say it is because what we've known, like growing up watching football, is United being a powerhouse in England and one of the best clubs in the world.
Yeah,
like that's what they were under Ferguson, and the demise since is just catastrophic. Yeah, it's very entertaining from my point of view.
I mean, it's the same as Arsenal. Cause when we were growing up, it was Man United and Arsenal.
Yeah, we're on our way back, Si.
Move past that. But I've got where I live. I've got a family opposite me, and they've got 2 young boys. Now, when we were young boys, it was either Man United or Arsenal kit, really, unless you got a local team, granted. But if you look, move on. The 2 young kids have a Chelsea and Man City kit,
yeah.
And that really I was like, things have changed. Things have really changed.
It's the new age. I was about to say, I walked past the park recently. We were all like 6-year-olds playing, and there was more Leicester kits at the local park I was at than there were Man United. And I said to my dad at the time, I said, "This just shows you the shift and the movement in the power in football, and things have to change. Things really do have to change." Okay, then. So moving on. So obviously you are new. So we've all got to get. I know your predictions deep down. I think we all know what you're going to say here.
Wolves top 4.
Wolves top 4. It's happening. No, okay then. So who do you?
About 3 weeks ago.
I really wish I'd have got you on 3 weeks ago. But we'll talk about Wolves in a bit when their slow demise as it's happening in front of our eyes. So I just thought I'd get that little dig.
It's about later. It's fine.
But top 4. What order? And I just want to hear it out. Just Just slap it out now. Just get it out. Be bold.
First is Man City. Liverpool aren't catching them. Liverpool are finishing second, though.
Did you hear that, Mike?
Yeah.
Liverpool aren't catching.
Yeah. We'll see.
I said trounce in the league. But anyway, carry on.
First Man City. Second Liverpool. I feel like Chelsea cemented third spot will stay there for the rest of the season. They're not moving from there. Fourth, as much as I hate to say right now, is probably Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
But I look at the way you're currently playing and the way you got games in hand. The teams around, everyone around you, may not rubbish, we're just saying. Spurs are inconsistent. Wolves have fallen off. West Ham are making it. It's yours to lose. It's Arsenal's to lose, absolutely.
It's a bit scary, actually.
The pressure's now on you.
Yeah.
Is it
You've not
surreal
had
for
that,
you?
like,
It's been so long since you've been there.
It's not surreal in that way. It's surreal because all this season we have not been expected to be there.
And the way you started.
And like, I've had my own hopes and thinking, oh, there's a chance and all this, but the whole season, no one has expected us to be top four.
Just you. Just been going on about it all the time.
Well, you've got it.
Off the camera.
And now it looks like the pressure is well and truly on, but Mikel Arteta's doing wonders, I think. He's literally managing it game by game. You can tell in his interviews he's trying to keep them very level-headed. It is a game. It's like 12 cup finals, basically, for us now.
The only thing to say, with there being such a young squad, and there's still not really that leader, if some games you start to go goal behind them, or maybe 2 goals behind, have you got the nous to get back into a game? Could you start to drop points as the pressure starts?
He's going to say yes. Let's be honest. He's fully backing Arteta, and he believes. Look at him.
Absolutely.
I could tell he was going to say. I think as well as that. So not only have you not got a leader, a goal scorer. You haven't got one man you can rely on.
No, the goal scoring is a problem, but when you're scoring everywhere else on the pitch, the wide areas, it's not that big. And he hasn't been scoring recently, but in the past 5 weeks, I think Lacazette has been that leader. You see the game against Wolves. Eventually, I was there. If you didn't know, Si, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Did you?
Oh,
I'm glad you
did.
did.
But because that for 60 minutes we looked awful. We weren't really in the game. Didn't really get any flow going attacking wise, and all of a sudden it just flipped. And I think Lacazette is massive for like these younger players around him. He's not getting the goals, but his link up play, his leadership. You see him going to the crowd, like urging them on, like get behind it for corners and stuff.
The game was against Arsenal. It was at Molineux, and Lacazette missed that glorious one-on-one chance. Any strong Premier League should put away.
Yeah.
I didn't think he did anything else in the game. And you were I don't know how you won the game. I'm still frustrated about the game, but move past that. But how you won that game, really frustrating. But Lacazette wasn't in the game at all. He had one run, should have scored, didn't. No. Not worth 50 million quid.
Well, it's just straight up. Sorry, you dropped that in as if that was absolutely nothing. Then, if he helps this Arsenal side get back to the top 4, is he still definitely not worth the amount they spent on him across the years? Or
so I saw just a quick stat.
Drop a stat bomb.
Go
for it.
And this like shows his role recently of late since Aubameyang's gone. So in the last 9 starts, he's got 1 goal, but he's got 7 assists.
He's taking up the Ozil role basically then.
So further forwards. But let me ask you this question: who was a better purchase for Arsenal? Lacazette for 50 mil, or Aubameyang for 60 mil?
I think you've got to go with Aubameyang.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the time to get rid of him, I think that was.
Oh, he was stale. He was stale at the club.
Perfectly.
See, I still think right now, and I know we've spoken about this before, but the one thing that you need right now. Look at the results. But you haven't got a goal scorer right now, and I know he dipped in form, but Aubameyang, he's literally gone to Barcelona. He's shown it. He is a goal scorer. No matter if he had an attitude problem or not, you surely could have given him a chance and a role.
I think the course was run with Arsenal and Aubameyang. I didn't think there was any way.
I get that, but I'm just saying, you're screaming out for a goal scorer right now. You didn't replace him in January. You need goals. I know it's controversial, but surely, why get rid of the goal scorer?
He was already out of the team, though, wasn't he? He was a rotten apple. I think they were right to get rid of him, to be fair. At the time,
but how good would he be now to just add a little...
Aubameyang's never really played number 9 for Arsenal. He was always that left forward behind Lacazette or someone else. So to play, like, he's not an out-and-out number 9.
I get what you're saying, but imagine having... Right now, I'm saying you're missing goals. Imagine him just occasionally just bringing him into the side on the bench. No, but I think as we're pushing on later on in the season, you will need his goals.
We'll see.
He's better than Nketiah as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're relying right now on Nketiah and Lacazette to lead the line.
Nketiah is a mid-range championship player at best. Honestly, I do not rate him one bit.
So you're talking like Blues
So-
level.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So-
When Crystal Palace offered you 20 mil for him, you should have bitten their hand off and driven him there.
Would you not have him at the Wolves then?
No way.
No chance.
No way.
Over Jimenez.
Don't rate him one bit.
That's bold. Do you know what? I didn't even expect this. We weren't even talking about Nketiah. So
Who knew about the Nketiah?
I didn't know
I don't know
that.
where it's come from myself, but it's just some rage. Oh, don't rate him, man.
No, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. That's a bold one though. Mid-table championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? You don't even go.
I'm not going to go back on that. Just I've never seen an ounce of quality of them when playing like FA Cup or Carling Cup against a Championship or League One side.
He's a top England's under-21s top goal scorer.
But what's the standard of that realistically? He's playing Lithuania and Andorra under 21s.
Okay, well, you feel really strongly about it, but it just surprises me that you wouldn't want him at the Wolves when the one thing you need right now is goals. And he
don't. I know that. I'm fully aware of that. But
I don't know.
Nketiah's not getting them either.
But okay, then. So you've done your top four. Then let's quickly get your relegation. Your three sides that you believe will get relegated
Norwich and CAC, they're going down bottom.
straight away. You're doing well to upset a lot of fan bases.
I'm here
Just
for it.
pre-warning you.
I'm here for it.
You've got to go for it.
Yeah, you just go for it. I'm here to be the
I think the
non-biased.
demise of Watford and just how the club's run, they deserve to go down anyway.
You don't? Are you not a fan of the sacking of the managers? Is that what it is?
No, I'm not. No, not
Yeah.
at all. I think it's harsh on the managers. It can ruin a manager's career. But also, they don't always get good managers in. You might have a manager who comes in, had 6 good months at Real Zaragoza or something.
Yeah, that's a real. Yeah, I know what you mean though. When you said like Cisco Munez and
Yeah.
Marco Silva, when they
managers you've
appoint
never
these,
heard of.
yeah,
So they brought in Roy. That's a good appointment to be fair to him. But he's how old is he? 73.
yeah, I'm
It's
surprised
too late, I think, for
Yeah.
Roy as well.
because you can see the changes he's made, the clean
Yeah, they've
sheets.
improved.
Yeah.
They have improved, but I think as you said, it is too late. So okay, Watford.
And then 18th, and this is probably more controversial decision. I reckon Leeds are going down.
you're gonna
I
go
really do.
Leeds.
I don't think they look good. I think they're so open.
I didn't watch
And
their
just-
first game under Marsh. Is it
Yeah,
Marsh?
Marsh. Yeah, against Leicester.
I
They lost
can't comment.
1-0.
People were saying they were improved though.
But it's if they're improved and they're still lost, then that's still an L on the form
It's
table.
first game though, but I don't.
I mean, I've got my boss at work. He's a big Leeds fan, and he tells me how good he is, how good they are every week, and how much Bielsa's a god. And I'm like, you're losing constantly, and I don't think they're going to change that now. I think they're so into Bielsa's style. It'd be really hard for them to revert back to another style with so little time left to go in the season,
Yeah,
and therefore I think they're going down. But
Okay.
they're close to being followed by Brentford.
Brentford at
Okay, they won on the weekend against Norwich 4-0, but I'd say Norwich are CAC, so that they're excluded.
Norwich could have easily gone 3-0 up in that game. Norwich should have taken their chance at the start. I watched the highlights of that. They had some big chances at the start,
Yeah.
and Brentford's goals, three of their 4 goals came from set pieces, so 2 penalties and a corner. So really, I still haven't seen enough from Brentford. I think Brentford are in it. And then Everton, currently, as we're recording this very moment, it's 5-0. Obviously, it could easily be more. Everton are right in the mud, and their run they've got, I'm sticking with it. I'm changing my view from what I said before. I believe Everton will get relegated now.
Really?
I watched it about 20 minutes before we started recording. Just literally, I was watching it downstairs, and they were atrocious. And the run they've got, the sides they've still got to play. I think I looked at it. I'm pretty sure they've only got 3 games where I think they'll get points. The rest, maybe 4 games where their run is vile. And they're sat down there, and they're the only one not getting any points. They're getting a manager who's inexperienced in a job like this, in a position like this, and needs results fast.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't know his best starting 11.
And I think, everyone says, winning's mentality is, it's contagious. So is losing.
Yeah.
They keep losing games the way they are, and I've not seen them play well for a long time, really.
Yeah.
I can't. And Calvert-Lewin's not doing it right now. Neither is Richarlison. Midfield 3. Look at midfield 3 of Allen, Decore, and Van der Beek. I think that's pretty strong. They're not doing it for the middle either. They're not clicking at all with one another.
No. And I said this. I said Van der Beek is a great player, but he's not the kind of player they needed. They needed somebody who was going to fight, somebody who's been in a position like this. I know this is a really random shout, but somebody like a Jack Cork, somebody like that who's been in and around these kind of positions.
Scraping the barrel.
With Lee Catamol as well.
But I'm saying that those kind of players who've got the know-how of these positions, Van der Beek has never had to battle it out in a relegation battle in a side where they don't get much of the ball, they're sat back. And I think the turning point was against Man City. That result where they actually played well and they still got the kick in the teeth, and it was poor that the decision didn't go for them and things didn't go their way, but it still didn't work out for them. And so when they're playing well, they still don't get points. That is my problem. I really think they're muddied. And I was looking at the points on the table, and yes, they've played less games, but they're 1 point off Burnley and they're 1 point off Leeds. Those are the three. I think Brentford 27 points. Brentford have got 5 points on Everton. So it's difficult. I think Newcastle have pulled away, though. I think Newcastle are clear.
Fine.
And even their record signing hasn't even started the game for him yet, has he? Like Ramirez.
Yeah. If they win their game in hand...
Can't displace Shelby.
Yeah.
Shelby, Joelinton and Willock.
If Newcastle win their game in hand, they go a point off Brighton.
Wow.
They're showing Champions League form right now. It's absolutely mental.
And people are right about Brighton, how good they've been this year.
Well, Dan Burn, he was the glue that kept it all together. Since he's gone, I don't think they've won.
I originally thought Dan Burn was a rubbish signing.
We were always big fans, weren't we?
Yes.
We picked up Dan Burn.
And I've been eating my words since, because he's been fantastic for them.
I told you I'd take him over Maguire, and I stand by it. He's a great player. He's got to be knocking on that England door squad.
And it helps her as well. He's a Geordie, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a Geordie, so that was his boyhood club, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So he's going to have that, like, he wants to do better for them, and he's going to give everything for them. Not saying he's going to give nothing for Brighton before, but he's going to give that little bit extra, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, then. So we briefly touched on the Wolves. Obviously, 3 losses on the bounce. I shouldn't smile as I'm doing this. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and be neutral here. 3 losses on the bounce. Obviously, at one point, top 4 was on the cards. People were saying European football.
Yeah. Slowly
slipping away. And I think we can safely say that's not on the cards anymore. What would you pinpoint? What's going wrong?
First of all, I think we're overachieving this year. I remember the start of this year, Mike run up to me at training saying, "You're getting relegated this year."
I did as well.
We had 3 losses in a row at the start of the season. But to get to the position we're at now, I think we're 7th or 8th. I think we're 7th right now. I think we're massively overachieving. We really are. And we've hardly any money spent in the summer as well. Yes, if you asked me 3 weeks ago, did I think top 4 was realistic? I thought, we're doing really well.
Did you honestly think it was realistic?
I was...
There was a glimmer.
Yeah, I was hoping, but I was like, this could happen. I thought we're going to get above West Ham and we're going to beat Arsenal twice and it's going to be fantastic. And then we didn't do any of those. But I think if we finish, I said if we finish like 13th, 14th with a new manager, new system, I'll be like, yeah, I'm happy with that. With Raul just coming back from a serious head injury, I thought, yeah, okay, we'll probably develop slightly, brought some new players and some younger players. We'll do better the year afterwards. To finish top half would be an unbelievable achievement. To finish in a European place, even 7th, that's really good for Wolves, I think.
Even like Conference League would be massive.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely take it.
Huge
I think for a club, sorry, when I say a club like Wolves,
It
I mean
sounds bad,
anything.
doesn't
No, that's not because of the Albion thing now. I mean, out of the top 6, anyone else loves, because obviously Tottenham weren't a big fan of the Conference League. The fans were kind of boycotting it and saying it's not a proper
They'd just been
thing.
in Champions League final 2-3 years ago.
Exactly, but whereas a club who's on that peripheral of just on the edge, on the outskirts of it, I think it's huge. It is European football at the end of the day. We've seen great away days, like away in Montenegro on a Thursday night. Like you can't beat it. But
we had some good away days just in the Europa League.
I knew you were going to say that. I shouldn't have talked about Europe and the Wolves. But okay, we'll move on quickly. We'll move on.
Do you remember Ruben Neves' goal against Espana?
Anyway. When we discuss the Wolves, though, and obviously everyone's talked about this defensive solidness, but it's a lack of goals, which is kind of not sat well with me this season, and why I didn't think you were really going to push on and make that top 4. What's at fault? What is it? The system? Is it the players? What would you change?
I think we are playing better football than under Nuno. Absolutely.
It wasn't hard, was it? Really?
Granted, I mean, when Nuno first came in, first 2 or 3 years, playing some alright stuff, but we also had Jota up front, which I think is a massive factor. Losing Jota, I never appreciate. Well, obviously I love Jota when he was at our club, but when he left, I didn't appreciate how much of a miss he'd be. by the time he left the club, he was third or fourth choice winger.
Yeah, it was mad at the end because Nuno just dropped him, didn't he?
Just completely dropped him, didn't start him even against Seville. Didn't even come on, I believe. I think he brought on Neto, who had hardly played that season. But then, I look at this year, I think there's misfits around the team. Getting rid of Adama Traore, I'm so thankful for. I am one of the Wolves fans who cannot stand him. And I haven't been able to stand him for years. Even when he had a good year, it was because Raul made him look good, in my opinion. Raul made the headers for him. Raul's not scoring this year, which has been an issue because we relied on him.
Could that be because of no Traore, maybe? Do you not think it's his lack of delivery?
There's been enough games between Adama and Raul this year that nothing's happened with them. And I often thought Traore was playing for himself. I really did, because he gets the ball, say, midway in the opposition's half. He has one thing in his mind, that's to just dribble down the line and try to put a cross, and it goes out of play every 4 or 5 times. That I'm so frustrated with.
But like with Adama, he's that dynamic, and he's that, like, you can't stop him once he's got going as a defender. He got into so many positions for Wolves whenever I'd seen him play for Wolves, and he's beaten man, he's ran half the length of the pitch, and he's got into an attacking position. He looks up, there's maybe one person up with him.
Because no one can keep up with him either. That's another issue. Who can keep up with
Adama? It's his fault for being too fast, basically.
That's possibly down to Wolves do play a deep lying defensive block, and then work probably either direct balls or quick counter attacks.
Never's Matinho, I'm going to burst forwards.
No,
exactly.
exactly.
I haven't got the pace, and they are defensive players.
If you're playing that deep line defensive, that's not set up to benefit Adama, who is probably, or he was when you had him, your most dynamic and explosive player by far.
Adama was in a good year. It's because he had Raul, but also had Jota, Jota could take a man away from
surround
Raul
him
as well.
With good players, and good things will happen.
I mean, look at Barcelona. He's got 4 or 5 assists already for them. He's got 2 assists for us in 92 games, or something ridiculous like that. I think that's the real stat, and it's painful to see. And that's why he didn't. I don't think he suited us in the end, because maybe we should have played more around him. I don't know. I don't think last year helped that he had no Raul, or Raul didn't have Adama, and Fabio Silva's questionable at 35 mil, has to be said.
Questionable.
I think
I'm trying to be nice.
We're talking about worst transfers in Premier League history.
Yeah,
he's got to be he's up there with Pepe, surely.
I think.
I'm just trying to poke you. I'm trying to get him to bite. I keep saying it, and I could see he's just biting his lips and just going.
I will say Fabio has improved this year with Raul around.
How many goals he got?
We don't want to talk about that a bit. We're talking about link-up play, but we contribution without scoring goals.
Goal contributions don't mean anything, do they? We spoke about this earlier. You've got to use the eye test, because he's been brilliant with the eye test.
And again, also, Trincão's been rubbish this year. Yeah, no goals, no assists. I was excited when he came in.
Yeah, he hasn't really hit the heights everyone was expecting. Again, is this a system thing? Because I don't think your attacking players can flourish in this system, because it is so deep, and I worry sometimes when you do go forward.
Yeah, it needs counter-attacking players, but the front three to link up with each other, I believe. It's not work going forward, but then at the same time, look at the strength of Wolves' defence. We've got second strongest defence in the league. That is to be applauded.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And that's why we're in the position we're in.
Yeah.
So we can win, like the old Arsenal, 1-0, and that's fine for us. And, defending's an art, and I'm happy to watch that.
Well, it's a great link now. Talking about comparing Wolves and Arsenal, I think it's got to be done. We've got an Arsenal and a Wolves fan. It's got to be done, hasn't it? And obviously, it's quite a bit bitter between the Wolves.
Why are the Wolves fans so rattled by Arsenal?
I don't even know.
Is it because of controversial decisions, kind of that went in the game that Wolves fans felt like potentially, or is it the fact that they believe they could take Arsenal's spot in the top 4 in those 2 games?
We were rolled with a game against Arsenal and Molineux because the time waiting was unbelievable for the whole game, and we couldn't stand it. The Martinez sending off was correct, by the way.
I completely agree. No, I completely agree. It has to be. I don't understand how it's a discussion. 2 bookable offences.
So fault. You play advantage off 1 booking, so you get booked twice.
He knew he was going to go back for a yellow card. I know you don't agree with it, Mike, but it's sensible. It's 2 fouls.
And I'm gonna say, Michael, that was a good thing he did in that game.
But I feel like we've got to do a combined 11 then. Surely it's got to be done now. We've got the two of you on, and I feel like it could spark some interesting debates. I'll just hop in when I feel like I need to, but I'm just going to stand and watch because I think this could be quite fun.
Can I make a point first? What formation are we playing? because this is the big issue as well.
I don't think players have to like fit a formation. We'll do 4-3-3 standard.
One striker, 2 wide players, and 3 midfielders.
And then, but it doesn't have to be. So you can play
4-3-3.
4-3-3, but you can play Cody in the 4 and he will work. It's just individual players. That was a little slide dig then.
I mean, is a point I was going to make anyway.
Yeah. So, but don't worry about systems and
you
things.
start, mate.
So for keeper, what we saying? Arsenal, Wolves combined 11 goalkeeper.
So I've already mentioned the strong defensive record for Wolves.
Oh, God.
I'm going to sit
clean
back.
sheets.
I'm going to sit back.
And also Sarza, I think Sarza won the highest save to shot ratios in the whole Premier League.
Yeah, he has.
He's been a revelation. Massive improvement on Rui Patricio. And I didn't think I'd say that. We saw Rui for 10.6 mil, signed Sa for 6 mil. That's a Billy bargain, that is.
Billy bargain. Mike?
What do you reckon about Ramsdale? I mean,
All the points you've just said about improving and how much of an impact he's had applies exactly the same to Ramsdale and Arsenal. And you can just see like the confidence he gives that back line now compared to what we had previously with Leno is huge. So I'm going Ramsdale.
Okay, then. So
I'm going to side.
I'm not gonna take sides here.
No, you get the final vote now. If
Or-
we can't agree,
Because
Okay,
they're firm points, but and I think,
I think-
we'll see both keepers playing for the international teams as well at some stage.
Yeah, definitely.
so if we can't agree, you've got to settle
I
it.
love the way you now, because now I'm, no matter what, I'm going to look like the bad guy to the fans, because
Oh,
I'm
go on.
definitely going to upset an entire fan base.
But don't forget, he's an Albion fan.
No, that's not
No.
coming into it. I can be
Okay.
a neutral fan. Personally, I'm a big fan of Ramsdale anyway. He's been great this season. I think he's been huge for them. I think he had a pretty poor game against Watford, but that's the first game I've seen him. I think overall, Sarr's been a complete revelation, as you said, but I think Ramsdale I think that's a lot closer a debate. I think that's probably the closest debate of any keeper. I think that's really competing with Ramsdale right now for form. I think Sarr's been class, but I'm going to have to just tip Ramsdale for this one. Okay, and we'll go straight to... I'm sorry. Right back then. Where are we
It's gotta
going?
be Super Tom. I'm not having Nelson Semedo.
So, have you seen Semedo this year? Been top draw for us, he really
It's
has.
Super Tom.
And then
we
since
love
he's got
Tommy
injured-
Asu, don't we?
We love-
love.
I've heard on the podcast, but then Semedo,
Oh.
since he's come out of the team, we've started losing. Is that a coincidence or not? And Hoover is not a player for us.
Sam's gonna have
I
to
might have
settle
to-
it again.
And I'm not doing this to make it evens. I personally have been so shocked and eating my words on Semedo. I think it's going to have to be Semedo. And yes, I talk about Tommy Asu being a great player, but Semedo was somebody I had massive question marks, and he's made me look so wrong.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
There were question
last
marks.
season he looked really
The
poor, didn't he?
improvement on him, and I'm saying right now, obviously Tommy Asu's been brilliant, but I think Semedo offers more going forward and defensive. I think Tommy Asu's brilliant defensively, but I think Semedo's a more all-round fullback.
He's one player Bruno Lage has done wonders with.
Yeah, 100%, because he looked like not a Billy Bargain. I don't know what the opposite of a Billy Bargain would be. I'm not going to try and make one up. Just I thought it was
A Frankie flop.
a Frankie flop. A Frankie flop then. That's good, that is. I like that. So I'm going to have to go Semedo then. So centre backs, are you going to do just whacking 2? Both of you do 2 each?
That's you.
No, you go first, mate.
It's Cody and Kilman.
Oh,
What are we laughing at?
I didn't know. No, I just didn't know whether you were going to be. This is literally just going to be the Wolves v Arsenal.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Gabriel and Ben White.
This is just passing everything over to me every time.
What I was saying, Arsenal for years have always said you've had no leader. Cody could be your leader.
He's not good enough.
He could be easily your leader.
He's not good enough.
You can have Gabriel tackling it, him sweeping, that's better.
I'd rather have Benny White, thank you.
Is there neither of you will accept just to take one of the others, maybe? Okay, then how
Kilman,
about
possibly.
Okay, how about then we'll make it even. You allow one Wolves one Arsenal one. If you both had to pick your better centre back,
If I was to
This
agree a
season-
partnership, one Wolves, one Arsenal,
Yeah.
I'd go Ben White, and this season's been Kilman's been our best defender.
I'd go Kilman and Gabriel.
we were so close. I thought I was going to have to make a decision then.
Why Gabriel over Ben White?
Ben White's been fantastic this season, and he will get better every season for us.
Yeah.
But when Gabriel's not in that team at the start of the season, you could see we looked a bit shaky. And granted, that was like Ben White's first few appearances, but as soon as he came back into that back line, we're so much more assured. We're aggressive as well. He brings that aggressiveness, that jumping into tackles.
I do like him. I think he's a good defender. I really do. So,
Are you gonna accept?
If you want Gabriel, but we'll have Kilman in.
Gabriel and Kilman.
Two left. Gabriel's
we're not
left-footed, isn't he?
worried-
No,
we're
but I
not
just quite
worried
like
about
it. No,
it,
I just quite like it. You don't
Yeah.
see it very often. Okay, then left back. We'll go straight in. What are you both saying?
That's you.
Who is your left back? Ain't Nori.
Well, I wanted you to go first because
It's going to have to be Tierney, isn't it?
it's really hard to argue because 2 years ago, Johnny, the man, absolute legend, fantastic. He's had 2 crucial knee ligament injuries, ruined his career. He's only just come back. I know he's improved a lot this year compared to what he last year. Not great defensively still. It's improved, but not great. The Marcel's too defensive and no
There's a bit of
attacking.
promise with Ain't Nori.
He's only, 20 years old?
He
He'll become a
looks
good
quite
player.
good going
He'll become a good
forward as
player.
well, doesn't he?
I think he's better than Tavares. I know Tavares wasn't in question, but I think he showed more promise than that Tavares, the youngster.
But yeah, I'll
It's
give it
Tierney.
Tierney. I'll give it Tierney.
And I don't even think Tierney's had a great season, but he's just... You can count on him every week to be a 6, 7 out of 10.
You know what you're getting, don't you?
Yeah.
He puts a lovely ball into a box.
One thing I did notice, like the last few weeks with this starting 11 that's played every game, I don't think him and Martinelli work great together.
Oh, really?
I think he's much better when Smith Rowe plays on that left-hand side.
It's like because Smith Rowe can tuck in a bit more and Tierney go past him.
They've got a much better connection, and Gabriel Martinelli is like... When we're playing the ball around in midfield, he's touchline.
Yeah. He gets chalk in his boots, don't he? He loves it. I think dives in from there.
Great save.
I'm loving your phrases, by the way.
Oh,
it's
mate.
just adding to it.
Tierney,
I do like Tierney, and his shirt never untucks, does it?
No.
Like he can do anything.
Old fashioned, innit?
Yeah,
Short sleeves always as well.
He's hard, isn't he?
Do you remember the early noughties where you had to have your shirt tucked in, and if you didn't, you got a yellow card?
Really?
Yeah. I'm sure that was the thing in the early noughties. I'm certain of it.
You
In the
might.
whole Premier League.
And then Alan Smith, remember Alan Smith, the striker for Leeds with blonde hair,
Yeah,
when he was Man
yeah.
United. He started to have his shirt untucked, and then they changed the rule because of it.
If I didn't know
And
that
now
was a
no
rule.
one has a shirt tucked, really.
There you go, kids.
There you go, kids. I'm learning something as well.
Someone
I'll take
fact
that.
check that, but I'm sure that was a thing at one
It's
stage.
definitely staying in no matter what, and it'll be going out. If it's wrong, I'm definitely clipping that up and putting it out. No, I'm joking. If it's not,
Clickbait.
people will probably aren't listening this far anyway. But no. If we move now to the midfield, we're going to say 3 in the midfield. Obviously, this doesn't really help the Wolves. Let's be honest in this. But who would you go then for your 3 in midfield? If you just want to go straight in,
Neves, Moutinho, Partey.
Oh, okay. Definitely Neves. Absolutely, Neves. I'd
Yeah.
love him at the Arsenal, to be honest.
It's been different grey for this year.
I'd love him at the Arsenal to replace Xhaka. I think I'll just about give you Moutinho. It's probably the last season you're going to have with him at this level.
the thing is, you say that every year. Everyone says it every.
I mean,
he's like
he's
fine
endless.
wine. He
He's
just
endless.
gets,
He
he gets
really
better
is.
with age.
He's just so classy, isn't he? Such a smooth operator.
I think next year will be the year he starts to pull out the sides that plays 50% of the games more. But the control of the game he has is unbelievable. He just knows everything, knows where everyone is. He's a delight to watch.
So I'll give you those 2. Partey has improved a lot recently.
After he said he was a 4 out of 10.
Since he said that public interview and he gave himself 4 out of 10, he's been really good, like enforcing that midfield, and he's doing it on his own. Like Jack has pushed on a bit, and he's the one sweeping up on his own.
I'm worrying who you're going to say now instead of Partey. You're going to say but now, aren't you? I feel like you're going to say but.
But
Oh,
it's Martin Odegaard.
okay. Phew.
The way he links up the play for us
Phew.
is just
I
fantastic.
thought it was going to be Shaka
Yeah.
then. I thought you were going to say Shaka then.
I don't know where you were going.
I was worried for a second. I was thinking, no, don't say Shaka.
Odegaard's fantastic. He's started to run the team now. Like
He's not on your back.
No, he's not. Repping the Norway for him. But he dictates play, the tempo, he sets it, he releases the ball at all the right moments, he can switch the play. He's really starting to come into his own with this team now.
As far as 30 mil goes,
It's
that's
a
good
bargain,
money
isn't it?
well spent.
Absolute
actually.
bargain.
But you look at some of the 30 mil signings now, that's a good signing.
We sold Joe Willett for 25 and reinvested it in him. I mean,
That's a gain.
Alex Iwobi. I don't mean to just drop him in there. We always
he's
seem
in
to.
the
We
worst
always seem
signings
to.
category.
Yeah, we always
Jesus.
seem to fall back to him, don't we, when we talk about Arsenal signings and sellings. But I think I'll have to say another judgment now, aren't I? It always just keeps coming back to me now with these
No,
midfielders.
what's your
if
three?
he wants Odegaard and midfield as their passing, that's fine.
Okay, I was going to say
what would your 3 be?
the same as what you guys have agreed. That 3. I just thought you were going to say Shaka. That's why I was pulling a
I didn't
face.
know.
I was really worried that we were going to have to argue. I was going to join in, then I was going to start piling.
Shaka's
into-
not part of that midfield 3. He's not in the squad.
Okay.
I don't think he's good enough to be
I'm
at
going to go
Arsenal.
straight in with the wingers because I don't think you can really argue. It's Saka on the right, and you'd probably go Smith Rowe on the left.
Neto's not fit enough to argue it yet.
No, I do like Pedro Neto.
Oh, Neto's top joint. Last year was safe because of Neto.
I'd say Neto on his day. I'd have Neto over Smith Rowe when he's fit.
Would you?
Yes, on his day. If we were picking individuals, I'd say Neto. And
if we're saying as of right now, it's difficult.
Right now, it's difficult to argue. But if he's fit and he gets back to the stand he was at, I'd take him over Smith Rowe. And that's a bold one.
That's a bold one.
That is good. That is bold.
Oh no, Arsenal! I'm not clipping that up because the Arsenal fans will come for me.
It's hard for me to argue right now, but on his day, he's.
But yeah, it's Neto, fully fit Neto over Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
Every time
Not
I say
me,
it, but obviously you're not going to agree. But
right now, I'll give you the two wings because I can't argue.
Who'd have thought it'd be the West Brom fan trying to get Neto into this 11?
I can't say no. He's just not fit enough.
Yeah,
he's getting back. I mean, when he first came back, was it against you in Molyneux? Yeah. For 10 minutes, he looked really good. But then the manager said after 10 minutes, he came off looking like he played 90 minutes. Like he was just absolutely cream crackered.
I would like to drop it in that Neto is a gooner. He supported the Arsenal growing.
Yes, we know that. So do you want to play him then? Do you want to be in one of the two wingers?
I was going to say, surely you would play him.
I'll have the Halem boys.
And the thing is now, we're going to have to move on to the striker. And I think the strikers reek at both clubs, if I'm honest. I don't think either side has a great number 9.
I would still say Raul's link-up play is fantastic. His movement, his awareness, he knows the game really well. It's just the headwear is getting to him. I really believe that. I think the headwear is uncomfortable.
Well, to be fair, I can imagine mentally it's probably extremely difficult to play knowing what you've done.
If I'm looking at it now, the Raul Jimenez of this season, I'm not having at all.
He's a shadow of what he once was.
Oh, yeah, he's not as good as he used to be.
So if it's right now, I'm having Lacazette.
But I don't think he does. You say he's links on play, but he's still got less goals than Raul this year. How many goals Lacazette scored this year?
I don't know the exact numbers.
Less than 5?
No, he's probably got 5 at least.
Do you reckon? Go on, Sam, get up. Go on,
Sam.
Don't
look at this. Look at this planning. carry on, argue. So he's got 3 goals in the Premier League and 7 assists. So it's a goal contribution every 2 games. Quick maths,
that was.
To be fair.
And then
his link-up play is crucial to what we do.
The same for Wolves though. Raul's link-up play.
Yeah.
Whereas Raul has got 8 goal contributions in 25 games.
That's just less.
But then you've got. Okay. But then we're doing the eye test. We discussed earlier about goal contributions, and you've got to remember different styles of play and take into account what Arsenal are going to do.
I even think as well, like in the game against Spurs, Raul was really good. He took his goal excellently. You know, Raul's
deciding vote for Sam again.
Yeah, Raul's a better player.
I was saying I can't split the two. I can't flip a coin. I'm supposed to be serious.
Have Nketiah instead.
Have Nketiah, I'm leaving.
Personally, I would go for
Fabio Silva.
Jimenez. I'm going to go Jimenez. I think Jimenez offers that little bit more. He's doing it in a side that aren't
You've got
progressive.
A lot of Wolves in this combined 11.
I told you the other day about team.
Table looks like it, doesn't it?
It's actually mad, when I think about it. But the thing is, this is why Arsenal are doing so well. Man for man, Arsenal don't have an amazing side.
You've got a better squad than us.
It's what you're doing together. It's that togetherness, and you're working in a well-drilled, well-oiled system, and it's working. But when you look at other sides around the top 8, obviously Arsenal got a better side, but I think it is that it's the way it works, and that Arteta ball that everyone keeps going on about on Twitter, and it's working. I know it pains me I can't believe how many Wolves I've just had.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not sure on Lacazette. He does frustrate me quite a lot sometimes.
Isn't he leaving them summer for free as well?
He hasn't signed a contract. His contract's up.
So he's another person leaving Arsenal for free.
And Nketiah.
Oh!
But they've got Balogun coming back, and he's doing quite well, yeah.
Has he scored much?
He's playing on the wing, I think. There.
Or he's playing as like a top 2, because obviously it's a Chris Wilder ball, so kind of.
Okay.
It's a different kind of system. You know the way it was, but no, I think that's fair. I think potentially, if we hadn't done the Wolves, and I know I'm not backtracking, but I'm just saying if we hadn't done the Wolves and Arsenal centre backs, I probably would have gone for the 2 Arsenal centre backs, just so people realise I'm not all about the Wolves.
Oh really?
But I'm just saying. But no, I think that's pretty fair. So. Last thing then, we can discuss Europa League, Champions League, back on this week. We've got Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. Is that...
What a game.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday? I think that's tomorrow, actually. I think by the time... Actually, this will be going out just before kickoff.
And I believe Mbappe's injured as well.
It's Wednesday. So...
Training.
Real Madrid, PSG.
Where's it at? PSG?
At Madrid.
No,
Real Madrid.
Yeah, right.
1-0 in the first fixture. Obviously, Mbappe got the goal at the end. Who we all going for? Then what we back in?
Don't forget as well, there's no away goals this season either.
No.
That's a big thing.
I don't. I still don't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not a
agree
fan
with
of
it. I think it
Didn't like away goals.
No, I'm
No,
not
I'm
a
a-
fan of getting rid
getting
of
rid
it.
of
Oh, no, I agree. Yeah,
because it just encourages now sides to just
sit back.
Sit back.
Sit back whilst away for the first leg, 0-0. Back to their place, 1-0 win. Excellent.
Yeah, it didn't encourage Real Madrid whatsoever to come out and try and attack. They were just like, we're here for a draw. If we just concede one, it's not the end of the world because we can score at home.
And to be fair, Real Madrid are doing quite well this year in the league. They've, I think 7 or 8, maybe 9 points clear. I think from the
It
weekend.
does help when the rest of the league right now are in complete disarray, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're all cack.
You love that word on this. This
That's a great word, isn't it?
everyone. So we've gone from Norwich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're all cack.
Barcelona have improved since Adama Traore's gone there.
That's what it is. And then we've got Liverpool Inter. I'm presuming everyone's back in Liverpool.
Yeah, at home.
You can't not back Liverpool right now.
By the way, as well, it was Tottenham 5-0 was full time.
How did our
Score.
predictions go last week?
It's probably best we don't discuss them.
Ignore that.
Oh, that bad?
We discussed Burnley, how well they'd done against Chelsea, and I think
That
we
was
did.
you that back to draw.
Hey,
Well, at half time it was.
Yeah, that is why we're not discussing our predictions
Okay.
from last week,
Ignore that.
and we'll just ignore it, and we'll probably start again next week. Let that die down for a bit. I was hoping people would have forgotten, and hopefully they hadn't listened that long. Well, I can't really wish people
And
to
they
not
brought
listen.
it up.
And they brought, yeah, cheers, Mike. And then obviously West Ham are playing on Thursday against Sevilla.
It's a big game,
Seville.
that is. I think that's a
Huge.
tough ask
And Seville
for West
are
Ham.
an unbelievable cup side. I mean, Wolves lost to them in the Europa League just again.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew where it was
but
going.
to be fair though, yeah, good evening. He's doing an unbelievable job there, isn't he?
So what are we saying then?
Is it Sevilla at home?
Yes. The early kickoff.
Seville 2-0.
Yeah, I was going to say 2-0 as well.
And I am just going to say West Ham are going to win because I really hope they do. I really hope they go on a good run. It's quite nice to see.
It would be nice to see a different
side kind of
do well in
breaking.
Europe, yeah.
Yeah, and then another huge game. Rangers versus Red Star Belgrade. We were discussing earlier. The limbs at that game, the away and the home fans clashing.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to back Rangers after they've just dismantled Dortmund.
I know.
Is that at Ibrox, is it? Or
The first leg is, I'm just trying to look now. The first fixture is at Rangers, yeah. The late kickoff.
I think you got back range, haven't you? I think I've got really itchy eyes, sorry.
Audio listeners, no
Sorry,
one would have
yeah.
noticed that. No one would have noticed that.
Haven't Belgrade got like a mad home record as well? They're like a real long tunnel for the away team as well to walk through. To like
that is
intimidate them.
Red Star, isn't it?
That's Red
It's
Star,
like the
yeah.
graffiti and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that second leg will be huge.
So I suppose
the first
Rangers had to go for it first leg, you'd say.
And if they play anything like they did against Dortmund, I watched both fixtures. I thought it was amazing. And Rangers, if they do what they did, and they didn't respect Dortmund, they were just like, we're just going to go for you, and they went all out first 10 minutes, and they just carried on. The tenacity and the energy, they've got to go into this game like that. They can't be naive. They can't be sit back. They've just got to go for it, like hunt down the other sides like they did, because they've got good players, really good players.
Got to go with no fear. They go with no fear. They can get anything out of the game they want to, really.
Yeah. The Ibrox will be rocking though, won't it?
Oh,
We've got
yeah.
another Thursday night Europa League night.
The atmosphere there under the lights is phenomenal.
Well, the Dortmund game, the camera was shaking. In the last 10 minutes, you couldn't see the picture. It kept blurring because the camera was literally shaking. You could feel it. So we all going to Rangers win then?
Yeah.
I think we are, yeah.
Go on.
Solid. We love it.
I'm on the jers.
There we go. And I think that's all of our predictions. And I think that's the podcast done.
Oi, oi.
Saw your debut. How are
Thank
you
you.
feeling now?
I am feeling pretty good, thanks.
You get your first
Perfect.
cap.
Yeah, got rid of the nerves early on. Straight in. A good Wolves side. Well, we're playing the Wolves Arsenal side, so yeah, fantastic. Do you want to mention how bad the Baggers are right now?
We've got a win on the weekend.
Well-
Actually, do you know what? Actually, funny you say that. Playoffs is back on.
No,
you
it's
heard it
not.
now. The playoffs is
Get
back
in the
on.
bin.
Right now, we could easily get back in. This is
You've
the
won
time
one
now.
game under Potato Head.
Memento is back. We are going to climb back up the table. We've got some really tough fixtures coming up. In the next 4 or 5 weeks, we've got to play Birmingham City,
Anything's
Huddersfield,
possible in the
Bournemouth.
Championship.
Yeah.
As long as there's 10 games left, anything is possible.
There's
in the
always one
Championship.
team who win
They fly
8
up
out of
the
last
table.
10,
Yeah.
and they
And
go
that
into
team-
playoffs.
Rhymes with... I was going to say rhymes with... That team is West Bromwich Albion. We are going to climb.
what does it
I
rhyme
was going to
with?
say West Bromwich Albion. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know what I was trying to do there. But I'm telling you now, I genuinely believe we can do it. And I saw, yes, I know we rode our luck in that game, but we took there weren't easy chances, and it's happening.
If you went up, you'd be screwed in the Premier League.
Yeah, but we'll be screwed if we stay down. So it's kind of we do the same as what we do every time. We go up, get the parachute payments, come back down, struggle to get back up.
Aren't they cancelling them in a few years' time?
I don't know. That's not something I've seen online.
No,
potentially.
I think I heard it on a podcast that they are looking at cancelling parachute payments.
I did see that the VAR light is coming next season to the Championship.
Yeah, what was that about?
That is horrific. I really hope not, because the amount of goals will get chalked off, because that's what I love about the Championship. Yeah. The thing is, with luck and things and karma, it comes back at you. You'll have one result go your way because of it, and the next one it doesn't. I don't like VAR. I really don't, and that's why I love the Championship.
You know what it is? Cack.
But no, cheers for coming on, Si.
Thanks for
Mike
the
again.
invite.
Cheers again, Mike and Si. The partnership will be back on again. Don't you worry about that. But no, thanks guys for watching and listening. Whatever platform you're on, please smash the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube, leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Has to be a 5 out of 5. Come on, we deserve it for today's performance. But thanks for listening, guys. BucketHatSam, Mike and Si, over and out, baby.
See ya.